In this video, I will try bouncing 10 more things on this very bouncy surface. So if you were to bounce a ball or something on this surface, it will bounce very well. In a previous video, I showed how to make this very bouncy surface, and I showed bouncing a ping pong ball and a marble on this surface. So today I will be bouncing 10 more things on this surface. Now to make this very bouncy surface, you just cut the bottom half of a balloon off and stretch the top half of the balloon over a cup. Now if you want to know more information about making this very bouncy surface and how to get it right, you can watch my previous video about this very bouncy surface. So in the previous video, I already showed bouncing a ping pong ball and a marble on this surface, but you may not have watched that video yet, so I will just show bouncing these two balls on the surface first. Also, when I was watching my previous video, I found that my hand was in the way when I was showing bouncing these balls on this very bouncy surface, so you couldn't quite see the balls clearly. So this time I will make sure that my hand isn't in the way of the camera, and I also wanted to film in slow motion. So first let's try bouncing the ping pong ball on this very bouncy surface. Let's try that again. Alright, now let's try bouncing the marble on this surface. Okay, let's try this again, but this time I'm going to drop the marble from a lower height so it stays on the surface. It doesn't want to stay on the surface. So you can see that when it stays bouncing on the surface and doesn't fall off, it keeps bouncing for quite a while, and it bounces quicker and quicker as it bounces closer to the surface. After bouncing a marble and a ping pong ball on this very bouncy surface, I also wanted to try bouncing some other bouncy balls on this surface. So the first new thing that I am going to bounce on this surface will be the tennis ball. The second new thing that I am going to bounce will be this very bouncy rubber ball. So this, I think, is the type of ball that some people will play with, where they bounce the ball to each other. So that's how it bounces on a normal surface. Now let's try bouncing it on the very bouncy surface. Thing number 3 will be this type of slightly squishy foam ball. So with this type of ball, you can squeeze it a little bit and it still bounces a little bit, but not as well as the rubber bouncy ball. Now I also wanted to bounce some not so bouncy objects on this bouncy surface to make them bouncy. So these are just some everyday objects. Let's start off with the plastic lid of a plastic water bottle. Let's try that again. So I thought this bottle lid wasn't actually going to bounce that high, because usually if you were to bounce it, it wouldn't actually bounce very well. But it did bounce quite high, so the very bouncy surface can probably make almost anything bounce. Okay, next let's try bouncing a coin on this very bouncy surface. So coins themselves actually are a little bit bouncy, but not too bouncy, so let's make them bounce more on this surface. Okay, now let's try bouncing a pen. It falls over. But it did bounce quite high that time. Now let's try bouncing a rubber on this bouncy surface. So rubbers actually kind of bouncy, so let's try bouncing it on this surface. It jumps all the way over there. Alright, let's try that again. It wants to run away. Okay, now I am going to show you bouncing a discharged battery. I think this is a discharged battery, and I have heard people say that discharged batteries actually bounce a little bit, whereas batteries that haven't been discharged don't bounce that much. I'll just show you bouncing it on a regular surface before bouncing it on the very bouncy surface. I think it does bounce a little bit. It springs all the way over there. I think almost everything bounces really well on this surface. Okay, now let's try bouncing a comb on this surface. I'm just bouncing random objects at this point. It's a bouncing comb. And finally, I am going to bounce my toothbrush on this surface. It's an interesting looking bouncing toothbrush. Okay everyone, that is 10 new things that I have bounced on the very bouncy surface, excluding the marble and the ping pong ball that I bounced in a previous video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next video.